back to the podcast. You are here with your host, Vanessa, aka That One Catholic Girl. This is the That One Catholic podcast. Now, this podcast episode should have came first in all of my podcast episodes. This episode, I'm going to be talking about where I've been for the while that I was gone. I just want to be open with you guys. You guys know me so well. You guys always show me so much love and support. And I disappeared on you guys. And I had a lot of you wondering what happened to me. And honestly, I was one of those people wondering what happened to me. So without further ado, I'm just going to explain briefly, as brief as I can, where I've been, what's been going on. And we'll see if I end up posting this podcast episode. I don't know how deep I'm going to get about what has happened this past year, but I know that I want to open up with you guys and just explain where I've been. Not that you guys even asked for an explanation, but since we're family, since we're friends, since you guys always show me so much love and support, and you guys have continued to love and support, even though I left you guys for nearly a year, I figure I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an explanation so you know where I'm coming from. And if I disappear again, then you know that maybe it's one of these things that are occurring and that's not something horrible happened to me. So without further ado, let me tell you guys where I've been this past year. So if you guys are not aware of this, I started a Catholic YouTube or Catholic social media back in 2018. And in 2018, I decided I wanted to be a Catholic apologist. It is my dream to be a Catholic apologist. I will always consider myself an aspiring apologist. A lot of people call me Catholic apologist, which makes me want to cry, but I'm an aspiring apologist. It's what I want to do. It's my dream. When I grew up, I want to be a Catholic apologist. It's everything I've ever dreamed of and more. I've always wanted to be on the radio. I didn't know what I wanted to do on the radio. I always wanted to be on the news. I didn't know what I wanted to do on the news, but I knew I wanted to be in media in some way, and I wasn't sure how. And when I was younger, I used to be really into history. Like, I thought that I wanted to be a history teacher because I figured if I taught history to my students, I could tell them the truth about the world instead of all the lies that we're constantly being fed by media. And then I came to realize that, hey, why not get into media and stop the lies from there? And so I've always wanted to be in media. I just didn't know how. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I just didn't know what. I used to make music videos back in 2009. If you guys ever want to see them, let me know. They're so funny. They're so cringeworthy, but sometimes I pull them up if I'm hanging out, let's say it's a first date or something, and we're trying to act all cool, oh, I do this, or these are my hobbies. I'll pull up my YouTube videos from 2009 and show them, this is, if you fall in love with me, you have to fall in love with this whole entire thing, my cringeworthiness. Now, nothing has changed from 2009 to now, except for the fact that I'm old now. But if I could, I'd still be making these dumb music videos. But nonetheless, I've always known that I wanted to make videos, media. I just didn't know how. And it wasn't until 2018 when I wanted to convert my ex-boyfriend to Catholicism did I fall in love with the faith and fall in love with teaching about the faith. I never wanted to be a teacher in school other than when I wanted to be a history teacher when I was younger. But that quickly fell off because there's just so much politics in the school system. And I don't know if I would be a good teacher because sometimes I don't have the best patience. But I'm learning that may not entirely be my fault. But we'll get into that maybe later on in this podcast episode. But I got really passionate about this YouTube channel, and I was trying to live stream as often as I could, try to post as many videos as I could. And it wasn't until maybe 2020, 2021 did I feel this thing called burnout. And I thought I was just burnt out on YouTube. I thought that I was just tired of making videos, that I was tired of seeing my face, and there's some truth to that. But I think that there was actually more of an underlying thing occurring in my life that I had to take control over that I didn't know about until these last few weeks. And now that I've really come to terms with what I need to deal with, that doesn't necessarily have to do with the YouTube channel, doesn't have to do with my family life, doesn't have to do with finances, doesn't have to do with anything like that. It has to do with my health. Once I realized that I need to start taking my health seriously, I've come to realize that is what was stepping in the way of me pursuing my dreams, me pursuing things in my life, relationships. Now, like for instance, like I am what you would consider boy crazy. I love boys, okay? But it's because I have a crush on a boy and then they usually turn out to be not what I'm looking for. So then I move on to the next boy crush. And I have a crush on that boy. Turns out he's not what I'm looking for. Move on to the next crush. So you can consider me boy crazy. Yes, I've had a lot of crushes, but I've also had a lot of like realizations of what I'm looking for in a person. So I'm not settling for the first attractive guy that I see. No, I may have a crush on him for 2 days, but I'll move on in 2 days once I find a random flaw. I'm so sorry. But usually it's like something like along the lines of like they're not Catholic or they're not conservative or they do drugs or maybe they drink too much alcohol or they're rude to their mom or rude to their grandma, something like that. It's never something like superficial, though it may appear to be superficial. My mom's like, Vanessa, you're criticizing this person too quickly. And maybe I'm outwardly criticizing, but internally I know that there is something that there's a disconnect there. And so, anyways, going back to this, so the whole reason why I brought up is that I'm boy crazy is that people would assume, and myself, I would assume that I would enjoy dating. You know, I would like the idea of going on dates with people, but I don't. I don't go on dates with anyone anymore. And I thought it was a me thing. I was just like, oh, no one likes me. And then my mom's like, Vanessa, people ask you out on dates and you're always like, I'm too busy. And then same thing with my friends. Like, I'm like, I have no friends. No one wants to hang out with me. And my mom's like, Vanessa, that's because every time your friends ask you to hang out, you're always like, I'm too busy. And you know what my busy is? Watching TV. And I hate watching TV. Like, I absolutely hate it. Or being on TikTok. I don't even like TikTok. And you'll find me on there, finding me spending so much time on TikTok, watching TV, spending a little too much time brushing my hair or plucking my eyebrows, something like that. You know, I'm so busy that I can't go on dates, can't hang out with friends, can't do certain things. But I realize that I have been dealing with this extreme exhaustion that I didn't know that was something that I was dealing with. I don't even know how to explain it because right now it's still undiagnosed. But these past few weeks, it's just gotten so much worse where I'm just so exhausted all the time. Like I'm miserable. Like there are certain days where I'd come home from work. I work in a warehouse, by the way, where I'm on my feet from 6 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, depending on when I start. And I would come home from work and I would tell my mom, like, oh my, I can't do this job. I hate this job. And like I had like this extreme like hatred for my job for no reason. Like if my mom asked me, why do you hate your job so much? I'm like, I don't know. There's nothing bad about it. I enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy the environment. I enjoy my hours. I enjoy the fact that like I'm appreciated there. They show me appreciation. And I enjoy everything about it. I get to listen to my own music. I get to eat my own food. I get to drink coffee all day. I get to run around doing little exercises all day because I work in a warehouse and I like movement. So I'm not stuck at a desk. But yeah, I come home crying about work where I'm just like miserable. My body feels miserable. And so finally, I decided that I really needed to sit down and figure out where the root of the problem is. And so, upon discussing things with my mom and my grandma and my relatives, kind of picking up on the fact that I wasn't doing too well, like people were just asking me, like, what is going on? Are you not eating properly? Are you overworking out because you're so exhausted all the time? Maybe you should cut down your hours. Maybe you shouldn't go on daily walks anymore. Maybe you should sleep longer. Maybe you should do this. And like I drink more water, stop drinking so much coffee, no alcohol, no diet root beer, no this, no that, no processed meat. And I've been trying everything. You know, I've been trying to do everything that I could to make myself feel better. You know, at work, I was like, all right, I'm going to start listening to my favorite podcast. You know, I was listening to a lot of the Council of Trent. I've been listening to a lot of Catholic Answers Live, Pipes with Aquinas. I've been listening to the music I like. You know, I've been trying to make work like more fun for me, but there's certain times where I just have to stop, grab my head, and like hold on to an aisle at work because I'm just so exhausted. And I thought it was through this like amount of dislike I had for where I was in my life. Like maybe it was just like internally I just didn't like my life because I had no friends. I have no boyfriend. My sisters are both in Michigan, by the way, if you guys don't know. So it's just my mother, my father, and myself. I have no pets or anything. So I thought like, oh, I'm just going through this like maybe like quarter life crisis because I'm turning 25 this year, and I just thought that it was like maybe I was going through a sadness episode and that maybe I needed to speak with someone about like what's going on in my mind. But little did I know that my family members also dealt with this, my relatives also dealt with something similar in their early 20s, and they found out that they may or that they have a condition that is to be addressed. So what I did was I decided to put on my big girl pants, book a doctor's appointment, and go to the doctor. And I'm terrified of the doctor. I had never had my blood drawn until November of last year. And then I went to the doctor in November, October of last year, and the blood work came back inconclusive. There was no reason as to why. I was so tired. I just thought, okay, maybe I'm just not eating right. So then I started implementing more food into my diet, started eating more fats, eating more carbohydrates, eating more protein, starting to like not be so crazy about working out. I'm cutting down my workouts a lot, but things came back inconclusive with my blood work. And so then it wasn't until these last few weeks, I was like, you know what, I just can't anymore. I need to address this. So I told the doctor, do as many tests as you need to do, and we're going to figure out what's wrong with me. So we did blood work, and once again, my blood work came back inconclusive. There was no indicator of anything being entirely wrong with me, or that's what I think. The thing is that I guess my doctors are really busy because even though I'm going through the tests, I don't receive replies from my doctors. They go like, oh, we'll message you if anything seems crazy or out of the norm. And I'm just like, I get that maybe it doesn't seem crazy or out of the norm, but even if my blood work comes back normal, I'm still extremely exhausted. And so if it's just my environment, if it's just like maybe the season or my amount of food or my amount of working out, like I want to know, or is it something that I need to address within? Maybe I just need to take an extra vitamin. Maybe I need more vitamin B12. Maybe I need more vitamin D. Like, I don't know what it could be. So I want to know what's going on. And so then I moved to a different doctor who then also did a bunch of blood work on me. That was horrible. I said, do as many tests as you can. And I swear she was tired of hearing me talk. So she was just like, all right, I'm going to make you take as many tests as you need to take. And she took as many tests as she needed to take. Like, she took a lot. Like, I had to lay down when they were doing the blood work. That was one of the worst afternoons of my life. That was last Wednesday. And it's only Tuesday of the next week. And we've decided that going forward, we're going to talk to some other specialists. And so I don't really want to say what we're diagnosing it as or like what we think it could be because it's still so inconclusive. And I'm reaching out to my doctor. I'm like, all right, what do we do moving forward? She's like, well, your blood work's normal. And then this morning I was on the phone with the nurse. I'm trying to book another appointment with a new doctor. And they're like, well, your blood work's coming back normal. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. I know, I got it. I see the numbers. They're coming back normal. I still feel horrible. So even if it's coming back normal, let's figure out the problem, okay? I hate giving my blood. And this is going to be, I think, so I did it with the doctor in November. I did it with the new doctor, and then I did it with the new doctor. So that was my third time. And now I'm just like, all right, run another panel if you need to. I just want to know what's wrong, or I want to talk to someone who can help me out. So that's what I've been dealing with. But the positive is that the fact that I've kind of noted where a lot of the root of my feelings and like the way I've been feeling inside and like my actions, the fact that I can kind of like blame it, I guess, almost on this whatever's going on with my body, has allowed me to almost like relax a little bit because there was so much like stress where I was so irritated all the time. Everything my mom said bothered me. Everything my dad said bothered me. Everything anyone said to me bothered me. Like, if you messaged me at a random time and you said something that I didn't think was smart enough, I would, like, block you. And I hated who I was becoming. Like, I hated who I looked like in front of the camera. I looked so mad. I looked so ugly. I looked tired that I didn't want to even record myself. I didn't want to hear myself talk. I didn't want to look at myself on camera. I didn't want to date. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Like, I would just want to be left alone. All day, I'm by myself in the warehouse. I mean, I have my coworkers, but really all day, I'm like inside my own mind. And then I come home and I want to be inside my own mind. I go to bed inside of my own mind. And literally, I could go all day without talking to people. and I was content with it because it was much better for me to be quiet and like not talk to anyone than feel uncomfortable by the way I was acting towards people, where I was just overwhelmed with like this annoyance with people. I would also have this like extreme like anxiety where like randomly like during the day I would just get extremely anxious or extremely cold, and I was just uncomfortable all the time. I was uncomfortable in my own body. I feel bloated all the time. I feel cold all the time. I feel hot all the time. And just like so many different things. And then the fact that I don't know what is wrong with me, and that I didn't think that there was like something wrong with me. I just thought it was like quarter life crisis. That like made it hard too, because I'm just like, wow, like look at all these other 25-year-olds living their lives, and I'm over here like I can't even imagine going out on a Friday night. I can only go out one day a week, and that's Saturday. And then, oh my, I went out this last Saturday for the first time in a little while. I was just like, you know what, Vanessa, we know that we can control our emotions. We're going to have a good weekend. And your girl had a little bit too good of a weekend that resulted in her having one of the worst weekends of her life. So take it from me. Eat your food, eat bread, and don't party too hardy. I don't know how to explain it, but I didn't have the best weekend. I had one of the worst weekends ever. I was just extremely full of exhaustion. But anyways, going forward, I have a few more doctor's appointments coming up, and we're going to be addressing what's going on. Don't think that I ever for 1 second forgot about you guys. There would be moments where I'd cry to my mom in distress, because I was just like, Mom, my entire life I knew I wanted to be in media. And I finally found out where I wanted to go. And I knew, like, I was like, I'm going to be teaching about Catholicism. But I would receive, like, this weird amount of hate on social media sometimes. I receive these emails, like, damning me to hell from people, comments in my TikToks or on Twitter. And I just allowed, and I never take criticism, like, the wrong way. I love criticism. I never take people's comments, like, the wrong way. I'm not a sensitive person typically, but I couldn't handle it. And I just felt so defeated. And I was just like, man, like, I thought that this is what I was going to do, but maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a Catholic apologist, you know? Maybe I'm not supposed to be making Catholic videos or teaching about the faith. Maybe I'm not good enough for it. And it was a lot of like internal battles and criticism that I was facing. I'm a perfectionist, even though I never produce anything perfect. But my personality is to make perfect things. And the fact that I was doing such horrible / mediocre things, not even mediocre things, I was just doing things that just weren't up to par with what I thought I should be producing in my life, or places that I thought I would be in my life, really, really frustrated me. And then also alongside this like extreme exhaustion, I can't even say the word, that I had been facing, that was overwhelming me too. So I just wanted to bring a little bit of clarity into what has happened this past year. And then there were some other things that happened this past year, but those affected me within like the time frames that they were occurring, but not so much anymore. Like for instance, like back in 2021, early 2021, I believe it was, there were two occurrences where actually it was late 2021 and then it was early 2021. So like two occurrences happened where two groups of people in my life where I thought that they would have my back and my best interests at heart ended up like taking advantage of those things. Like for one, I had mentioned this, a company stole one of my ideas that I ended up having to spend thousands of dollars to get trademarked. And then even though I had it trademarked, basically the company told me that it's that I can't do anything about it, that they are a big company and I'm like basically a small little person, and that if I tried suing them, basically I'd lose. So might as well close my mouth. Just because I put a little trademark symbol at the end of my name does not mean that it's mine, and whatever that may be. But I ended up winning that whole thing. The people ended up like ceasing and desisting, I don't even know if this is the right term, on their own. And then the second thing that happened later on in the year was just, money really makes people turn out to be not good people sometimes. So I had an instance where money was involved in a situation involving some people that are supposed to be, your blood, your family. And instead of, doing the right thing, they just ended up robbing my family of things. Not just money, but time, love, ability to say goodbye to a loved one. So, yeah, so that was really rough earlier this year, or early in 2021. I can't believe time is passing so quickly. So there was all that occurring, but and also I was in Michigan for a long period of time, and I think I needed to like really reconnect with my parents. There was so much time that I spent without them, and I just needed to be close to them. And right now I'm the closest with my parents ever. Like we go and we have beanie cheese burritos. We go on little beanie cheese burrito quests each week. It's so much fun. We always drive out to Bakersfield to try out beanie cheese burritos. So if you're ever wondering why is Vanessa always in Bakersfield, it's because we drive there for a little vacation. People are like, you go to vacation in Bakersfield? Now, if you're familiar, like Bakersfield, or if you're not familiar, Bakersfield is just like a farming town. Like there's nothing going on there. It's just open fields and little towns within, and then nothing. Like there's nothing around. It's like vacationing. Just like choose any random city in your city and say I'm on a vacation there. It's just like, why would you do that? Why would you go and spend $100-something on a hotel room to stay in a random city where there's nothing there? It's not like you're traveling to Vegas, which you could easily do because LA's not that far from Vegas. But no, we choose Bakersfield and we go and we hang out there. I think the next trip that we're going to take, though, I think we're a little bit burnt out on Bakersfield. I think we're going to head up to Santa Maria. So like near the Guadalupe area, near Santa Barbara. I want to hit the Missions, but I also want to try the burrito places over there. And the Missions. The Missions are our main priority, but I think we're going to try to make a whole road trip down. So I don't know if we're going to visit any Missions this next time around, but I've been spending a lot of time with my parents. We're really close. We talk about everything. My parents know everything that's going on in my life. My mom comes with me to my doctor's appointments. I swear, the doctors are like, if you like, we could ask your mom to leave. I'm just like, well, if you tell her to leave, then I'm going to have to tell her everything that just occurred when I get out of here. So it's much better if she stays here so I don't have to repeat the entire conversation. She knows everything that's going on in my life. She knows everything because I tell her everything. Poor mom. Poor mom. She knows everything, about every crush I've ever had, every thought that's going through my mind. But she's my biggest fan, and I really love and appreciate her, and I know you guys love and appreciate her too. So please, thank you guys so much for all your prayers and love that you give my family. I know that you guys pray for them a lot. I always ask you guys for your prayers, and just so you guys know, I am also praying for you guys too. I know this was a little bit of a rambling podcast, and I talked about things that you guys probably do not care about. But if you did care about it a little bit, let me know. Shoot me a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. If you want to talk to me, send me an email at thatonecatholic@gmail.com. You can reach me on my various social media platforms, such as YouTube, which is That One Catholic Girl, my website, thatonecatholicgirl.com, my email, thatonecatholic@gmail.com, Twitter, One Catholic Girl, TikTok, thatonecatholic.girl. If you want to see my burrito page, it's burrito review on TikTok, or burrito.review, I think, on Instagram. And I think I may also be my email. I'm not too sure. If you guys have any burrito recommendations, let me know. But I look forward to seeing you guys in my next podcast. Do not worry. We're going to be talking about apologetics topics. We're not just going to be talking about my life and then why I cry all the time. We're going to get into real topics. Don't you worry. Do not worry, my loves. Okay, I'll see you guys all in my next one. God bless. I'll be praying for you. Pray for me. Bye-bye. Love you. Bye.